Today's session will be guided by Dr. Hadi Cahyadi, a distinguished financial advisor, educator, and corporate leader with more than 3 decades of experience in strategic management, corporate governance, and financial restructuring. Dr. Hadi Cahyadi is the founder and managing partner of Helios Capital, a boutique advisory firm specializing in mergers and acquisitions. Over his illustrious career, he has held leadership positions at top global advisory firms, including Deloitte, EY, KPMG, and other firms in both Indonesia and Australia. He has played a key role in strengthening corporate governance practice and also leading a large-scale restructuring projects for state-owned enterprises and also major conglomerates. Academically, Dr. Hadi Cahyadi holds a Doctor of Management from the University of Pelita Harapan, Indonesia, a Master of Corporate Law from MIT University, and also an MBA degree from the University of Houston, Clear Lake. He is also an accomplished author and speaker, having published widely on family, business, sustainability, fintech, and also corporate leadership. His recent book, Go Perpetuate, How to Beat the Third Generation Curse, now explores strategies for ensuring long-term business continuity across generations. Dr. Hadi Cahyadi is frequently invited as a keynote speaker and moderator at national and international businesses, sharing insights on entrepreneurship, innovation, and family enterprise sustainability. Ladies and gentlemen, it is our honor to have Dr. Hadi Cahyadi lead today's Q&A session. Dr. Hadi, the floor is yours.
Stephen, thank you for generous introduction. So first we see the video first, MNC video.
MNC Group focuses on 3 strategic businesses: media and entertainment, financial services, and tourism and hospitality. MNC Media and Entertainment focuses on 4 key business pillars: FTA TV, Pay TV and ICT, iNews Media Group, and digital and content. In FTA TV, MNC Media owns and operates 3 entertainment FTA TVs, RCTI, MNC TV, and GTV. MNC Media produces and broadcasts the biggest talent search programs like Indonesian Idol, MasterChef Indonesia, and major award programs. MNC Media is also popular for its top-performing drama series and currently hold numerous broadcasting rights for top soccer tournaments and leagues. In the Pay TV and ICT business, MNC Media also dominates and operates 2 DTH Pay TVs, Indovision for premium service and K-Vision for mass market, an IPTV service with the brands MNC Play and Vision Plus TV. Under Infocom, the group also manages various ICT infrastructure businesses. iNews Media Group is the most comprehensive news and information hub. iNews Media Group's media outlets include linear channels, iNews National and Local TV, Sindo News TV and IDX Channel, radio networks, and online portals, okzone.com, sindonews.com, inews.id, and idxchannel.com. In content business, MNC Media produces over 20,000 hours of new content annually in long and short forms and has content library of more than 300,000 hours, which is licensed globally. Additionally, one of its animation content, Kiko, has been distributed to more than 60 countries. MNC Media has the most integrated and high-tech production infrastructure in Central Jakarta, MNC Center, and West Jakarta, MNC Studios, including the largest indoor studio, RCTI Plus Studio, an outdoor production ecosystem called Movie Land, located in MNC Lido City Special Economic Zone. The company has the biggest talent agency unit, managing more than 400 artists and 200 influencers with various talent specializations, and operates music labels with top-rated singers under its management. In multi-channel networks and digital marketing, Star Hits manages MNC Group's social media activities and is also the official partner of YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Combined with the management of a large number of influencers or content creators, the group has the largest number of subscribers and followers, with 1.5 billion views every month. In streaming, MNC Media owns the largest OTT streaming services, RCTI Plus as an AVOD super app, and Vision Plus, which is SVOD based. RCTI Plus and Vision Plus offer the most comprehensive content selection with over 110 linear channels with catch-up feature, 35,000 hours of VOD, exclusive originals, micro dramas, and other entertainment content, top sport programs. In financial services, MNC Capital has three main business groups: banking, capital market, and insurance. In the banking group, MNC Bank runs Motion Bank, a digital banking application that offers seamless biometric onboarding, crisp payments, advanced features like split bills, e-money top-ups, digital credit cards, online time deposits, car and home refinancing, client fund accounts, and in-app biller payments. Motion Bank also integrates e-money Motion Pay and the trading platform Motion Trade to deliver end-to-end digital financial solutions. MNC Finance operates Motion Credit, a car and home refinancing app, while MNC Leasing serves corporate clients with leasing and factoring facilities. MNC Teknologi Nusantara offers e-money, e-wallet, and digital remittance app named Motion Pay, along with a full range of payment processing solutions called Flash. In the capital market group, MNC Securitas provides brokerage, investment banking, and research services, as well as owns an online trading app, Motion Trade. MNC Asset Management manages various mutual funds focusing on equity, fixed income, and money market instruments. In the insurance group, MNC Insurance covers general insurance products, while MNC Life provides life protection. In Tourism and Hospitality Group, PT MNC Tourism Indonesia Tbk, formerly known as PT MNC Land Tbk, has been part of MNC Group since 2007. As the largest listed tourism company on the Indonesia Stock Exchange, MNC Tourism focuses on hospitality, amusement, and property management. Our flagship project, MNC Lido City Special Economic Zone, is set to become Southeast Asia's leading integrated tourism destination, covering 1,040 hectares in Bogor, West Java, 1 hour drive from Jakarta, with direct toll road access. Here stands the Trump International Resort Golf Club and Residences Lido, an exclusive development featuring an 18-hole championship golf course designed by Ernie Els, a grand clubhouse among the world's largest, exclusive private clubhouses, prestigious Trump residences, and the Trump International Hotel. MNC Lido City also introduces a world-class amusement park, Movie Land, an integrated ecosystem for recreation and a complete production complex for movies, drama series, and micro dramas across theater, television, and OTT platforms. Lido Music and Arts Center, the first world-class outdoor venue in Indonesia. A world-class standard theme park, retail, dining and entertainment, hotel and MICE facilities. The destination is further enriched by Hyatt Regency Lido Resort, integrated with Lido Adventure Park and a variety of supporting facilities, including transit-oriented development, commercial areas, and mixed-use developments. In Bali, MNC Tourism introduces MNC Bali Resort, an integrated destination for leisure and lifestyle, located close to Tanah Lot Temple in Tabanan, featuring Trump International Golf Club and Resort Bali, home to an extraordinary 18-hole golf course, an exclusive clubhouse and wellness village, luxury private clubhouses, upscale residences, children's amusement zone, and RD&E facilities. Adding to the excitement is Amusement Village Bali in Jembrana, comprising an international theme park, water park, and resort. MNC Tourism's hospitality portfolio includes Park Hyatt Jakarta, a 5-star modern luxury hotel, the first and only Park Hyatt brand in Indonesia, completed with several MICE facilities, such as the Royal Glass House and various famous F&B facilities. The Westin Resort Nusa Dua, Bali, a prestigious 5-star hotel with a breathtaking beachfront wedding venue and integrated with Bali International Convention Center. Oakwood, a 5-star hotel and residence Surabaya, along with One East Penthouse and Residences. And the upcoming Hyatt Centric, located in Park Tower. MNC Tourism also develops and manages premium office buildings, event venues, and co-working spaces. As part of its social activities, MNC Group through MNC Peduli is very active in social activities involving free healthcare, scholarships, basic food distribution, and general community support. MNC Group, developing and innovating the future, a pride of the nation.
Wow, Bu Angela, we surely will learn a lot from you. Please come with me to the stage. Yeah. Jason, please. Please give a round of applause for our panelists. Since everybody already listened to the speech, I do need to have another speech. Okay, so welcome to Beyond Profit. This is a buzzword everywhere, but tell you, as a researcher in family business, Beyond Profit is very enlightening, because according to research of Professor Goto in Japan, when he make a research of Centurion, meaning a company more than 100 years, every companies who do a beyond profit, they have a long age. They have a better recipients from the stakeholders. So beyond profit is really not only a good buzz, but this is something that we have to learn together today. So you know, beyond profit buzz is coming from year 2012, when global warming speech is coming in UN. 2002, then all of a sudden everybody talking about global warming and also sustainability. And every place in the world, one by one, like New Zealand, they try to have a disclosure of climate disclosure in year 2001. Then 2006, Malaysia is the first country in Southeast Asia asking every listed company to produce the sustainability report. Then Indonesia 2017, in line with IFRS S1, S2 in 2020. So I think this is the right time for us to discuss about sustainability, especially with Bu Angela here and Pa Jason is here. So let's one question first, Bu, from me. With your experience, you were in government as well, okay? I think incredible CV and experience. What government tried to do, then already done, and how successful they are when talking about sustainability? You can laugh, but let us know about that. Please, thank you.
Is this on?
Yeah.
That's okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure for me to be here, and thank you for the question.
Yeah.
Well, I was in the government before,
Yeah.
so from 2019
Yep.
to last year. And from my experience, so I was in the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy as Vice Minister.
Yep.
And from my experience, so what the government has been doing is to give incentive to businesses that comply with ESG. I think that's a very powerful tool, because I believe that government should be there to nudge, not to control, but to nudge the private sector to go in the right direction.
Yeah.
Right? So, and based on my experience in the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy, what we did was, one of the things that we did was to encourage, especially Bali. And well, we have Udayana here. We work along with local governments there and all the stakeholders there to not only.
Okay.
Yep. So not only we encourage them to, have program for the environment, but how do we involve the tourists as well to take part in the environmental sustainability?
Yeah.
And that's why actually the Bali governor, they introduced not taxation per se, but then there is a certain amount that the tourists need to then give back, right, to the local community as part of their contribution for the environment.
So the government role is already there, and also very important to give incentive. Is that right?
I believe so. I mean, the government role in this space is to nudge, right? Not to control. Because if I think this is a collective effort, right? If you're talking about SDGs, it's definitely a collective effort. It cannot be just government alone. It cannot be just the private sector alone. And if we're talking about private sector, there are millions of them, millions of entrepreneurs, right? And they have different ideas of what sustainability is, right? So the role of the government is basically to push them in the right direction. All of these millions of entrepreneurs in the right direction. And the only way to do that is to nudge them with incentive or disincentive.
Okay, thank you, Ibu. Yeah, and come to Jason. Jason, what innovative program at Ngean has delivered and the most tangible result on sustainability?
I think the easiest, before I do that, very good afternoon to everybody. Okay, so before we go into the tangible parts, I would say for businesses, typically when it comes to sustainability, everybody asks about costs, right? And it's not even about profits, it's just the cost. Right now, it's costing them money. Then they ask the question, if I come to you to do a solution, can you save me money?
Okay.
I think that's the very first question they ask. Right, and I would say it depends on what kind of solutions you're asking for. So there are realistic solutions, and then there are some solutions where sometimes they are, I would call them dreamers. They may dream, and sometimes the dream can be a reality. But that's the part where they come to us, because I'm technical. So I run the Center for Environmental Sustainability, and we would then come to help them to assess and decide whether what they try to, or they are trying to do, is it able to help them achieve their outcomes? But there are also cases where companies come to us and they just want to explore, right? Typically, I would say there are not that many of such companies that just want to come and explore, because at the end of it, everything also costs money, including the exploration. Right, so we do always ask our companies. I speak, although I'm from Ngee Polytechnic, but I do talk a little bit like a business entity, because we do provide services. And that's why when I talk to my clients, and you will hear me refer to them as clients, we do ask them, I can give you what you want. The question is, can you afford what I can give to you? Right, so that's also the flip side of it. So, but the first thing they always will see, and the benefit they will get, is definitely the cost savings.
So Jason, come to that point. Do you want to make a presentation on you? Okay.
Sure.
Let's do a presentation from Jason.
So, do I go over there?
Can you go? You can go.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so if I were to go to the slide, I suppose this is where we will show our slides. Now, before I jump into the topic that I wanted to share. Okay, so before I go into the deck about what I'm going to share with you on, I thought perhaps it's good to give you a bit of an understanding what I do at Ngee Polytechnic. All right, so if I go to the next slide. All right, so I come from the Center for Environmental Sustainability. Now, as the moderator has mentioned, sustainability is a buzzword. And I will tell you that my center's been around for the last 20 years, but it wasn't called the Center for Environmental Sustainability. And we only actually rebranded ourselves last year. Right? So you can see on the left side of the screen, there's a circle there. And the circle basically shows you that there are 10 different centers of innovation. And like what you've been hearing earlier, the way that the government in Singapore tries to push companies towards sustainability is to really provide funding support or technology support or services. And in the case of the centers of innovation on the left, they are all the different centers on specific industry application areas. Like say, for example, for me, it's sustainability. So you see on the bottom right corner, that's the sustainability side. There's also others like robotics, agriculture, energy, and so on and so forth. Right? But if I were to go on to the next slide, so that's just to give you a bit of a context that in different areas, there are different centers of innovation to provide that kind of services. Now, what services do we provide? Right? Maybe I don't have a clicker, so if you may need to help me click to the next slides. Yeah. All right, is it coming up? Okay, so for my center, what we do is we actually provide 3 different ways that we can support companies. So the first way is, of course, R&D to product. Now, we don't do the typical R&D that the universities would do. We are focusing more on the application R&D. Some people call it translational R&D. Right? And you will see the R&D to product. Yeah, you can just click for the whole slide. There's one more click to go. Yeah, so you can see we have R&D, we have translational research, and then we have product development. Right? Oh, okay, great. I have a clicker now. Now the power of technology. Right? So you can see I've actually put there a few technologies. Now I won't have the time to go through all the technologies that we have done for companies to help them address cost issues or savings and things like that. But I will want to jump into a few to give you an idea of what exactly do we do in the technology development. All right. Oh, do I need to point it to the... Oh, not moving. Okay, great. So in the oil and water technology, we worked with a local SME. And this local SME, they are actually a chemicals manufacturer, right? So they are not in the business of water treatment. And this manufacturer came to us because one of his clients asked him, can you take one of your products and turn it into a water membrane, right? So this is where they are looking at potentially a new product line. So we did this journey with the company from 2015, and I'm quite proud to say that over the years, now this is not a short journey for those that are the faint of heart, right? For business development, especially in the area of technology, which is the space that I am in, it does take time. Sometimes it's not necessarily time for the technology, but time for the industry to accept the technology. Okay, and you see the journey starts from 2015. It goes all the way from proof of concept, proof of value. 2018, we then licensed to the client. And 2019, 2020, we had COVID, unfortunately. And that sort of put a delay onto the brakes for the company. But the company managed to press on. And in 2024, they announced on LinkedIn that they have now gone commercial. So the product is now commercially available. Right? So this is one case of a membrane technology. Now, membrane technology generally takes longer because in water, people are a little bit more sensitive to the contamination in the water. If I were to bring you to the next technology, okay, let me just forward this. Okay, we have another one. Now, this is a technology that came from one of my colleagues in the center. And this is to address a very common problem in Singapore, probably Indonesia and the rest of the world. The growing amount of plastic waste. And in Singapore, we have a challenge with sorting the plastic waste. Now, how can we convert plastic waste that is very low value into a product that you can sell? Right? That itself is literally something beyond profit. It's got to do a lot more than just thinking about the dollars and cents. We had this idea, what if we could convert it to carbon nanotube? Right? And this carbon nanotube is a high value product. It can cost up to $100 USD per gram. Right? And imagine this, your waste plastic can cost up to $100 USD per gram of final product. Right? So we have a company that licensed this from us. You can see the name of the company on the top right over here, Region Tech. They licensed it. They used a subsidiary company. So I believe the company that actually is working on the technology is a different name, but this is the parent company that took up the license. Okay, and they are at the moment still trying to scale this up for industry scale. Okay, so what we can do in the lab is unfortunately still very lab scale. Commercialization has got to do with industry scale-up, right? And that is also the next hurdle that this company is going to be facing. But the promise, of course, is that the product itself will actually sell for quite a high value. Oh, I need to point, I keep forgetting this, the computer's on the right. Okay, now this is a company, an MNC from Denmark. And what we did with this company, maybe I should tell you the story first, how we got to know this company. They came to us with a very simple problem statement. Can we reduce the energy cost for running their pumps by 50%? Now, for those of you that are engineers, you may be thinking, wow, reducing by 50%, that is a lot of energy to reduce, right? They did not come up with the idea themselves. They took a research paper and they brought it to us. And in that research paper, it said that theoretically, you can. Now, the question is, how can you turn theory into an actual product, right? So we did the study with the company, we did the simulation, we built our own confidence, and once we built our confidence, the next challenge, which building owner will let you use their building to test, right? So this is the number one problem. Now, what you don't see here is the very first building that we tested. The very first building was the company's own office and factory in Singapore. All right, we did the piloting. We transformed the entire air conditioning system to the new system that we designed. And we found that the savings, you can see right at the bottom left, they are quite similar to the savings that we now also achieve in Ngee Ann Poly. All right, now why did we do this in Ngee Ann Poly as well? The building in Singapore is only 2 stories. So people may think 2 stories is a very simple job, right? So they would ask, what about a high-rise building? Okay, and I always tell people the joke. In Denmark, any building that is taller than 6 stories is considered high-rise, right? And we have an 8-story building, so we meet the criteria for high-rise, right? And this is where the Block 22, which is nearby in Ngee Ann, was being used as the pilot. And we also saw very similar savings there. Now, I wanted to just draw your attention to the savings. Remember, I mentioned the problem statement that Grundfos made earlier. They want to reduce the pump energy by 50%. Notice that we actually save 55% of the pump energy. But if you look closely, you will see that there are 2 other numbers below. There's a chiller and a chiller plant there, right? We found that you don't just save 50% of the pump energy, you save 12% of the chiller energy and 17% of the chiller pump and the chiller plant energy, right? Now, you may think that the numbers look smaller than the pump energy savings, but the reality is that if you count the actual energy, the energy for the chiller plant is 4 times the energy that you save for the pumps. So by addressing the pump energy savings, you actually reduce 5 times the amount of energy that you wanted to reduce, right? And in doing so, this company ended up with a very good ROI. The current return on investment for this system is only 1 year for a retrofit building, right? And we are now promoting this, not because we get a cut. In fact, we don't get a cut from the company, but we are promoting this technology wherever we go because we believe that this is a very energy efficient solution, right? And this is also now the good case study doesn't just end there. This technology did not just remain as a commercial technology, it also became incorporated into our curriculum right here in Ngee Ann Poly. Okay, and we also provide adult training because this system was a disruptive system. No other building consultant knows how to design the system for the building. So we now have a very tall order of educating the industry. How do they design for such a system and creating the awareness? Because in building environment, right, you have your building owners, you have your contractors, you have your building consultants, you have your solution providers. Each one of them must know how it comes together to form the system in order for it to be adopted by industry. And this is the part where we also come in. We try to provide that education. Okay, so I'm trying to tie it back to our beyond profit. So it's not just about profit. It's really also about advocacy. How do we advocate good technology? And how do we then teach this so that the rest of the industry is able to adopt it? All right, so this is for Grundfos. And this is just giving you an example how we worked with one of the companies. They had a product, right? And you can see here, the statement is, building owners unlocked 1.2 million in avoided energy costs without any overhaul. Right now, this is a company that produces an additive for your refrigerant gas. So some people may think, and some of you I'm sure have been approached by a lot of companies, add this into your product and you will save energy. But you have no idea where is the science being based on. Right? So we came in to help with this company do the science to provide the kind of evidence. So our center, we always say it's evidence-based. We are not here to listen to your marketing. We are here to test it out, prove it, and show the evidence that it really indeed saves you energy. So this company went on with their product to get it certified under our Green Mark building product. So they were quite happy with that, and they are now trying to deploy this into a different application. And they are doing a second project with us. So this is also a startup company, and this is where, it's not just about SMEs, MNCs, even startups can engage us as well to come in and help them to push their technology to different markets. And sometimes it's not about pushing to different markets, but improving on the efficiency and optimization. All right, so I have a lot that I didn't show, so if you want, you can always talk to me after this. There's a lot of other examples. These are just a few because I tried to take across different industries and different domains.
Thank you, Jason. Give a big applause for Jason. Jason, you can sit down first. Bu Angela want to make a presentation about your presentation. Silakan, Ibu. Then we're going to raise one question or two because Bu Angela's schedule is very tight. Silakan.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Jason has started with very practical solution for the businesses, so I'm trying to keep up with that, okay? Hopefully I can add value to this session from the perspective of an entrepreneur who was once in the government before. First of all, I want to start with a quote that I really, really like from Warren Buffett. I don't know if you can see me with this podium right now, but hopefully, okay, thank you. Warren Buffett once said, "Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. It is a very simple sentence, but I think it's a very meaningful one. And it is a simple reminder that real impact in business or in life begins when we build something that outlasts us. Because we are in Singapore today, I want to tell you my connection with Singapore. I lived in Singapore back in '98 for 1 year. I'm sure you know why, right? There was something going on in Indonesia during that time. So I was in Singapore in '98 for a year. And then, during the pandemic, when I was in the government, I also studied online every weekend with one of Singaporean university. So Singapore is very close to me. And from someone on the outside looking in, I've always seen Singapore as a country that believes in frameworks, that structure and discipline are not constraints, but foundation for progress. And that philosophy, to be honest, has shaped me very deeply. And it taught me that vision is nothing without consistency, and that progress isn't built on inspiration alone, but it's built on follow-through. Now, a little bit about myself. I've been in the media industry since 2008, right? So I may look young, but I'm not that young anymore. So I've lived long enough to see the full arc of disruption. So I started my career in what we call legacy media, where news and entertainment came from broadcast towers, not smartphones. I'm sure everyone in this auditorium can relate to that. Not so sure about those who are online with us right now. So back then, television was king, right? And every day, everyone watched at the same hour every day. And then what happened? Internet came, and it changed everything. At that time, we believed it would democratize information, that once access to knowledge become universal, opportunity would follow, that it would finally close the gaps between big cities and small towns, between the privileged and the marginalized. And yes, it worked to a degree. Today, almost 80% of Indonesians are online. Our digital economy is valued at $130 billion. And platforms like TikTok Shop have made Indonesia one of the platform's top 2 global market by GMV. It is a remarkable story of growth, but every leap forward brings a paradox, because the same number that show how connected we are also reveal how unequally we are connected. Our average digital literacy score is only 62% compared to the ASEAN average of 70%. Nearly 57 million Indonesians remain offline, and of those who are online, more than half remain vulnerable to fraud, scams, and misinformation. 56% of businesses have already faced AI-driven identity fraud or scam attempts. And across the region, the same pattern appears. Connectivity is booming, but capability is not keeping up. AI is accelerating opportunity, but also automating uncertainty. We are the fastest growing digital region in the world, but readiness is uneven. Globally, data centers, including AI workload, now consume around 1.5% of the world electricity, roughly equal to the combined electricity use of Spain and Australia, and projected to double by 2030. So, the implication is clear. The smarter our system become, the wiser our policies and priorities must be. And that is the complexity of our time. When you think you're actually solving a problem, you might be creating another. And every time we fix one problem, another emerges. And that's not failure, that's actually feedback. So the question for us, for business leaders, educators, policymakers, and especially students is this. Are we building systems that empower people or a system that outpace them? Because the next generation, yours and mine, will inherit not only algorithm we create, but consequences we ignore. Now, so how do we lead amid this paradox? For me, the answer goes back to what Singapore taught me, because we are in Singapore. And from my own Singapore experience, I took home 2 mindsets that I try to apply every day. First is bold long-term vision. You must know where you're heading, even though you don't see every step. Second, practical discipline. You must be willing to take one good step every day, even if the finish line feels far away. And these 2 lessons shape how I lead today, especially through disruption and transformation, and MNC Media became the real test. Now, for decades, MNC Media was built on broadcast television, reaching millions of households across Indonesia every night. But when the digital wave came, everything changed. The audience shifted, the advertisers followed, and suddenly the old formula that had worked for decades didn't. When I rejoined the company last year, my mandate was clear: to accelerate our digital transformation and to unlock the value of our ecosystem, starting with our news group. And the first thing that I did was ask, in this new era of media, who are we and where are we going? We were still the #1 news television station, but ad spend on TV was tightening. We moved our content online, but growth was stagnant. Morale was low because everyone thought television was a sunset industry and our digital efforts weren't taking off. So I started by restoring meaning to what we do. I introduced a new mindset: empowering brands, empowering society. I reminded our team that our work matters. In this digital era, credibility is our currency. We are the place where people come to verify what they've seen on social media, the anchor of trust in the ocean of information. And aside from that, we also rewired the mindset of our salespeople, that when we meet our clients, the brands, it's not just a transaction, but we're actually helping them grow. And we offer solutions to their problem. And I truly believe when brand grow, we will grow. And when society grow, everybody wins. On top of it, what we had to do is we had to restructure the whole organization. And I did that since early beginning this year. And we have to reallocate resources, close inefficiencies, and retraining our entire team. It wasn't easy, I have to say. We had to leave our comfort zone and at times say goodbye to the people we deeply valued who weren't ready to change with us. It was a painful process, but we did what we had to do. I told my team at that time, if we don't change the course now, we'll go down with the ship. And ever since, I've been telling my team, the only way forward is to keep adapting because the world is changing faster than ever. Thank God that today, our newsroom stands evenly between digital and broadcast. We've embraced data, AI, new formats, and we collaborate with creators, build new IP specifically for mobile audiences, and our digital viewership has soared 80% this year, driving major growth for the group. And this scale gives us not just the reach, but ability and responsibility to counter the noise of the digital world with credibility and trust. Now, this brings me to a story. Earlier this year, a major Indonesian institution was hit by deepfake impersonation of its CEO. The video spread fast, and within hours, misinformation had reached millions. You can see here the difference between original and deepfake. You cannot really tell the difference, right? So this is what's happening worldwide, even in Indonesia. And when that happened, our newsroom didn't just report it, we acted. We helped coordinate it with the platform, we helped the company verify the truth, and assisted in crisis communication. And we can do this because we have the scale and the attention in the digital space. But to be honest with you, it wasn't easy because fake news does spread faster than the truth, 6 times faster according to MIT studies. And that's why we fought really hard. We help companies these days. Because the way we see it, this is not just a social threat, but this is an economic one. And if a major corporation can be hit like that, imagine the risks for smaller businesses, for SMEs, or even individuals with limited resources. How can they fight back? And that's why at MNC we're trying to strengthen what I call digital resilience, which resonates with multiple SDGs frameworks. 2 things we're trying to accomplish. 1 is digital literacy, to fight hoaxes and fake news from spreading, maintaining information integrity that sustains strong institution and trust. And 2, we focus on digital training for our talents, for the youth, SMEs, to close the digital gap so that more people can take part in Indonesia's growing digital economy. And that's why, starting this October, we launched a digital and financial literacy program for university students, reaching 3,000 this year and expanding across Indonesia next year. We've also built a creator network of more than 500 incredible young talents nationwide, giving them access to our platform, our ecosystem, and mentoring them to grow ethically and creatively. You might know some of them. Here, Leodra Ginting is actually from Sumatra. And then we have Tiara Andini, she's from Jember, and Mahalini, she's from Bali. All ranked among Spotify's top 5 female artists in 2024, last year, and they've become not just performers, but role models for a generation learning how to be responsible digital citizens. And together with ministries and organizations, we also work with hundreds of SMEs across Indonesia, helping them to go online, tagging, promoting their product through our content ecosystem so they can reach a wider market. Now, all of this effort shared one goal: to make the Indonesia's digital economy not just large, but healthy. Because a healthy digital space builds a healthy society. And I believe healthy society builds sustainable businesses. Now, beyond our news division, we are actually applying the same mindset to our entertainment group. Right now, we are integrating our sales team, breaking down silos between business unit, supported by AI, and a unified research team. That's what I'm doing at the moment. And that's how we are unlocking greater value for our partners and strengthening MNC's position as one of Southeast Asia's most integrated media ecosystem. Now, why I share with you what I'm doing right now with our sales team, with our sales force? Because I want to be candid with you as an entrepreneur. At the end of the day, businesses need to make money. Because if they don't, they cannot pay their employee, we cannot invest in innovation or sustain their mission. And I think it's important that your team is beyond profit. So still there is the word profit there, but it's beyond profit. It's also the impact. My personal belief is that profit alone is not the purpose. Profit should follow the value. And when we create genuine value for customers, for society, profit becomes the natural outcome. But I think coming from entrepreneur, even if we create value, we have to be competitive enough. If not, how can we become profitable? So it's a whole process. That's why even when I reform our sales organization today, the principle remains the same, to unlock value for our stakeholders, and I always start with the end in mind, what value I want to unlock, and then working it backwards to define the steps we must take today, because that's how we should do it if we want to challenge the status quo. Clarity with purpose, of the purpose, and discipline to turn it into action. Now, so where does all this lead, right? Whether you're a policymaker, entrepreneur, students here in Singapore, Indonesia, Taiwan, you'll all face the same question in your own way. When do you pivot? When do you persevere? When do you protect what you've built? And when do you reinvent it? Leadership to me is like sailing a ship through changing weather. You cannot control the wind, but you can set the sails. And true leadership is not just about steering the ship, but it's about shaping the ocean that you choose to sail in. And if sustainability for all is our shared destination, then it demands greater collaboration, and government will play a critical role to it. Like the question that was asked before, right? What is the government role? I believe it's to nudge the entrepreneurs to go on the right direction. Because we're talking about millions of entrepreneurs, each with different mindset, goals, and interpretation of sustainability. Left on its own, the market will always chase short-term rewards, because being human, consumer reward affordability before ethics. That's the fact. And that's why I always say government role is to nudge the rule of the game, so that the long-term value becomes the smarter choice, not the harder one. And I believe when regulation and innovation move in harmony, business becomes a force for resilience. If the ocean, our ecosystem, rewards innovation that creates value, not just the noise, then the business becomes a force of progress. But even when it comes down to each individual enterprise, my belief remains the same. When we create real value and relevance for society, business will thrive. And when we contribute to a thriving society, we build businesses that endure, not just for this generation, but for the ones to come. And that generation will be sitting in the shade later on because someone planted a tree today. Thank you. Oh, just stay, okay.
Listen, you can join with me. Wow, we learned something, another thing now, from Jason. We learned something humble, but really works very well. From Grundfos case, not only, they do sustainability, but they also doing, better profit. From also ICY, you give advisory to startup and give. Yang ini nyala, ya, oke. And from Bu Angela, we learn a lot of big things. One of those is we learn how to solve problem. Internet is become game changer. I remember that memorizing our time book, surrounding the TV together at the same time.
Yeah, watching at the same time, right?
7 p.m. or 6 p.m. The news.
Yes.
That's a prime time.
Prime time, yes, yes.
But now there is no prime time.
Every day is prime time.
Yeah,
every time is prime time, depends on what you want.
More opportunity for you because every day is prime time. And the other things I learned from Bu Angela adalah is when you solve a problem, you create another challenge.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the times.
Most of the time. Thank you so much. There are two questions from the floor. Hey, thank you for 500 Zoomer who watching this presentation as well. I welcome you guys also give a good question to two panels, incredible panels. Okay, I got three questions, and all of them is for you, Jason. First, how can students actively engage with or contribute to the society? There's a question from the ladies, but I couldn't, write the names, but anonymous, but it's a good question.
Sure. We actually work with a lot of students. One of the challenges that my industry partners face, or they tell me, is that they don't have enough people they can hire to do the jobs that they need to do, especially the ones that we are helping them on the sustainability front.
Okay.
So what we can do is you can come in, do internships on sustainability, and as a student, my first advice to you is remember your first principles. That is very, very important.
What is that?
The first principles is as simple as gravity. Everything that has weight will fall down. Simple things like that. Why is that so important? Is because when you go out to work, even in the sustainability industry, I had a case where they had the exhaust of the system facing downwards. So why blow the hot air down when the hot air is going to rise up and still heat up your machine? You should turn it the other way. So hot air will rise. These are first principles. Right? We learn about it in the school, but we learn it as theory. We don't learn it as practical.
Yeah.
How do you make use of these principles in your practical application? So this is something, it sounds very simple. It sounds very fundamental, but it is so critical because I can tell you that even university graduates may not understand it. And I have taken students from universities. I was in the research institute, taken even postdocs. Sometimes even the postdocs need to remember the first principles. So that's how I would say students can come in and be involved. And I would say also as a student, your job of learning doesn't end when you graduate, right? You need to continue learning even in the workplace because there is a lot to learn. And part of learning is observation.
Fall in love also with graffiti. Okay. But this is another good question, but this is a good question for you, Angela. Yeah, what are the key challenges in implementing sustainability principles within the business sector in Southeast Asia, and what strategies can be employed to effectively address them? So, the challenges in implementing.
Different industry will face different challenges, right? I'm from media industry. That will be very different, let's say, with other industry that has been helped by just Jason over here, right? But the main thing any businesses has in common, the difficulties that they face when they have to apply sustainability, when sustainability is not their main focus from the beginning, is that because you have this system in place, right? And then in the middle you want to pivot and you're starting to think about sustainability. It's hard to implement it in a way because you have the system in place, right? You have this, you already know where your revenue comes from and everything. And with sustainability, obviously, you need a different system, you need a different organization altogether, or even different kind of revenue streams and cost structure. So if it's not something that embedded from the very beginning, it's hard for any companies to pivot in the middle. It needs to be top-down, comes from the very top, right? But if from the very beginning you have a clear value that you want to bring, and it's embedded into the enterprise, right? It has become the strategic or the value that you give back, and you have the system in place. I don't think you have any difficulties to follow through and to give real impact to the society.
Sure, Ibu, thank you. One more for you, Jason. What are the latest research trends in economics and management that are more relevant into the digital era?
Ooh, I'm not a business person to give that kind of advice.
Can be sustainability perhaps.
Okay, so I would say, but in terms of trends, right?
Right, the trend.
Although I say I'm not a business
Yeah.
trained person, but what we do see in the industry is that they are giving it all the SaaS, service as a service, right?
Service as service.
So for example, energy saving as a service, water saving as a service, or even sustainability as a service. We start to see more and more of this coming in, right? It seems to be a good way, but the challenge I see is for the solution provider, because the solution provider has to bear the costs to allow the benefit to be transferred to the user immediately, right? Sustainability as a service, as the user, you get the benefit straight away.
Yeah.
But who is bearing the cost?
Yeah.
You know, so this trend is there. I really don't know how sustainable this is going to become, but it is there. And in sustainability, it's also sometimes not about the solution, but about the performance guarantee. So one of the models that one of my clients is using is they actually give a performance guarantee, which no other solution provider dares to give.
Yeah.
So with the performance guarantee, you are not worried about the technology anymore because the company will be there to ensure the continuity, business continuity. Because when systems fail, you are not going to be worried about the problem, the technology. You'll be going to the company and say, I need my air conditioning.
Yeah.
You know, I need my energy, I need my water. And they will be able to then give you that kind of guarantee. So in business context, it does make a lot of sense. Because for me, I'm operational, right? I'm running a business. It must be running 24/7. If there's a downtime, it means I'm losing money. So this is the part where I see these two trends coming in. They are sort of technology, but also sort of business, right? And it's really about giving assurance to the companies that, you know, whatever you offer to me, there is not going to be a downtime. And I think that is the one area that
So
seems
you
to be
mean the
coming up.
applied research, right? The applied.
Not necessarily applied research. In terms of applied research, it's not so much about the research. It's really about after they have done the development, when they want to offer this new product at the end of the research, right? Because every company will say that I don't want to be a guinea pig. Right? And this is the number one problem. I'm sure for MNC as well, if I tell you today I have a new product, never done in the world before, you'll be the first one. I don't think she will be so happy to take up the technology.
Not proven yet.
Yes,
Unless
exactly.
you pay me.
Exactly. Yeah, so I mean, I showed you that we did the deployment in Ngee Ann. Now, frankly speaking, why we were able to do it in Ngee Ann is because the company offered to sponsor majority of the installation. And because they are also a big company, they were able to put their reputation to say, I will guarantee nothing goes wrong. Right? So you need to have companies that are daring. So maybe it's not really a business strategy, but you need companies that are daring enough to go and say, I put my reputation on it. You will not have any problems to your building or to your company.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Bu, the last question for you. In what ways has AI helped improve operational efficiency at MNC TV?
MNC, okay. AI, right? What we are doing with AI today, first in production, with editing, not only with editing, but a lot of the production steps we're using AI today, and definitely it has increased our productivity and the numbers, the volume that we can create, right? The content that we can create. Secondly, right now we are using AI for our sales force, and this is very important. We are using AI as recommendation engine because we have a huge inventories, right? Products. So media is a product, right? We have it from television, OTT, pay TV to social media. We have talents, right? And this number of content, because we produce content, you know what? Every day we produce more than 56 hours of content daily. So it's a huge number of inventory. And that is why we need AI solution and recommendation engine to help our sales force be more efficient and more productive and can help their clients. So that's how we use AI today.
So
But
meaning the customer got recommendation or yourself?
Our team, yes. And on the customer front, right now we have OTT services, right? And we use AI recommendation engine to support that, because then we can learn what you like to watch, and so on and so on. And that become a tool that support the OTT to give better services to the customer. So that's how we interact with AI. But one thing that I want to underline here with technology, right? When I first applied AI to MNC ecosystem, a lot of people actually were afraid that they will lose their job, right? This is a big thing, especially in Indonesia. We have large population, and this has become a threat. Maybe different from Singapore, because Singapore is much smaller population, right? So the tricky part with Indonesia is when we adopt technology, for example, we have to find the sweet spot or equilibrium so that we still provide jobs for this amount of people. And when we move, let's say, to a certain technology, we have to make sure that our human resources, our people, have the ability to catch up and have the capacity to make use of the AI and technology.